I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just up and go to... No, I'll just do it in front of her, shouldn't I?
Going! He's kept going! He scored! Oh, Stockport pressure. And the header and a superb goal. Changing it. Lisa! Rose tries to get the ball in. Wilkinson!
It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
It's too hot. I've had a shit day. I've just watched the worst final series of any TV show ever, but it's all right. Anyway, I'll get over it. Hello and welcome to SK3 TV, the weekly show, giving you the first word on all the weekend's action from the team that are top of the League One table. No
Which
less.
league table is this though? Because on all the ones I look at, we are not top.
Well, Flash Scores has us first because, as we all know, it's alphabetical because we've got the same record. But County comes before Huddersfield in the alphabet, therefore we are first.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm willing because I don't buy all this. Like when you're actually second and you say, "Oh, we're joint top." You're not joint top if you're second on goal difference. So there's no such thing as joint top. But at this point of the season, when we have, I will take this, even if it's alphabetical order. I'm taking. We are top of League One, having it.
I miss the good old days when the league tables weren't published until like 4 or 5 games in. And you had to do maths and shit.
What? When you had to wait for the paper to arrive?
Yeah.
You had to wait for the paper to arrive on
Oh,
your
God,
on your
it
doorstep.
made me so happy. So I
But-
ordered it from the website, and with modern trickery, it was delivered by an actual paper boy this morning and posted.
They
to
still
my-
exist.
It's
You have
so
paper girls now as well.
exciting.
Come on, let's be
They, well,
progressive.
I did check their gender before.
Paper people.
I'm not
Wow.
like accidentally misgendered them. Well, I don't. Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
But either way, let's celebrate. What I think I'm right in saying is our highest overnight league position since April 2002, when we were bottom of what is now the Championship.
Wow.
There we go.
And when I say
That
I
is
think I'm right in saying that, I mean I definitely know I'm right in saying that. So let's
yeah,
celebrate
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the false modesty just for a second there.
Yeah,
Just kick off with a bit of that, yeah.
I just know it's right. Yeah, because we started off
Yeah.
when we dropped down into League One, we started off with a 1-0 defeat to Colchester on the opening day and then never really got going. Same the following season, and then we got relegated. So here we go. Top of League One, highest overnight league position since April 2002 after the Norwich game, final game of the season.
More records tumbling. Yes, we are. Anyway, we are with you for the next hour or so with me, Hannah, and Ben. That's me, Hannah,
Oh,
and Ben, not me, Hannah, and Ben.
I've just been erased.
Yeah, I can call myself what I want now. Yes, we are back to discuss. It's been nice that these like last 7 episodes or so have just been warming up for actual football action. And not in my wildest dreams did I think we'd actually have a win to talk about on the first day, given like the past few seasons. It's wonderful. What a day!
It was a good day.
It was great.
It was.
It was great. Do you want another stat? Do you want another one?
Please, by all
Another
means.
one. That's what we're here for. I think I'm right in saying first opening day Edgeley Park win by more than 1 goal since
FC United.
Football League, sorry.
Oh right. Oh
God.
God knows then.
Cardiff on the opening day of 94-95 when Alan Armstrong made his debut. I think the only other one in the Football League since then was Dagenham in 07, which was 1-0.
Well, I'm glad you've mentioned Alan Armstrong actually, because a friend of the show, Ian Dowden, has been digging through some old programs. I managed to he's managed to find me the program from my first ever game. But I was convinced that season there was a program. You know when you used to have to send the picture in that you'd drawn.
Yeah.
And there was one that I drew of Alan Armstrong, and I tell you what, Ben, I'm going to forward it to you later. You are going to want this for your collection because
don't ruin it, Nick.
It's staggering. It's genuine. But the thing is, if I was to draw it again right now, it'd look exactly the same. My technique has not improved in the time.
19, 20?
Well, and a half. It says Nicholas Lee, age 7. I was still going by Nicholas then. I'm like a reverse. You know how Andy Cole was Andy Cole for most of his career, and then when he hit 30, he was like, "No, I'm Andrew Cole now." I was the other way around.
Yeah.
It's sort of embrace the fun-loving side.
Yeah. Very good.
But it's a good picture. Very proud.
Don't ever share that with me, please.
I was gonna get a T-shirt made with it on and just wear it for every pod. Can we do that? We can do that, can't we, Hannah? We can make a T-shirt. That can be our first merch, I think.
Yeah, first and last.
That'd be a great merch idea if we just went through all the pictures that got sent into the program and just made T-shirts
but
out
it requires direct to film transfer, which give me vinyl and I dribble more than Louis Barry or whatever I put on Maddie's Baby Grow and lifelong pop cider.
I thought you were referring to your reaction to vinyl then. I didn't realise you were talking about what was actually on it. Yeah. Anyway, we should get into Saturday. I saw you both on Saturday afternoon. I saw Ben on my way to meet you. I was telling Ben all about how we were off to Chunky Chicken.
Yes, I believe it was the first time you've dined at Chunky Chicken.
It was.
How was it? First and last?
It wasn't terrible. So I got Cam recommended the wrap, the chicken wrap. I went for the supreme chicken wrap because if you're going to do something, do it properly. I think it's got hash browns in it and it just looked like a beige, I don't know, congealed mess. So far, Levi Shawarma wins out.
Yeah.
Charlotte, what did Charlotte have, Nick? Can you remember? Chicken strip
well,
thing.
I don't know because it had already been purchased and consumed before. I was walking past Edgeley Park. I was shaking people's hands and kissing babies.
No, my chips were still hot when I gave them to you and Finley. So you're being dramatic. And at that point, I hadn't even opened my wrap. So don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
To be honest,
there were some youths outside. So
I'm a huge Chunky Chicken fanboy, big advocate of it. I had one after the game, and it was fully deserving of its previous 0-star hygiene.
Oh, really?
It was like they've scooped up not just a pigeon, but like a Castle Street pigeon, and stamped on it, and then deep fried it. And I get what I always have and what I've had for years, which is a mega meal with red salt. So you get big chicken fillet burger, mayo, lettuce, 3 chicken strips on top in the bun, chips with the red salt, delicious. But this was particularly gristly, like we say on Peep Show, an indeterminate puck of gristle. That's exactly what it was. So I'm willing to give them another go. I'll be back there tomorrow night, but I was very sorely disappointed. I'd been looking forward to it all summer, particularly after the prolonged absence last season when they had a 0 hygiene rating. But they bounced back.
No one told me that.
Yeah, well, they've got a 4 now, so it's fine.
4. They've done the paperwork.
Have a 0.
They've done the paperwork and had a mop. It's fine.
Oh my god.
So yeah, maybe stick with Leffy Bakery.
Where's next on the the chronological, not chronological, but the
taste tour of SK3?
Yeah.
I might try Fat Lads.
I can't bring myself to go somewhere that's called Fat Lads.
No, I can't. I can't.
No. That's you kind of. I mean, it's probably sound. You don't want to put the boot in on a new establishment and all that, but that's the kind of name that you would get in 2003 for something, isn't it? With a PH and a Z. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But no, I think
3 ringtone with every order.
Levry Bakery is always decent. You can't go wrong with the Friary. So yeah.
I see the Pineapple are doing food now, though. The Pineapple have got a menu.
Oh,
that's blown my mind.
Someone's put that menu, which I assume is entirely fictitious, on the League One supporters group saying, you know, this is award-winning food, the friendliest staff, away fans welcome, an award-winning beer gut. Like, what could possibly go wrong?
To be fair, like to the Pineapple, I don't want to sound like Rusk, but it is what it is. Like it's honest. It doesn't try and be anything beyond that, and it serves a really valuable service for, you know, certain members of the community. Like I've been in there a few times, never had any trouble. It's, you know, they serve beer, it's cheap, it's pretty cheerful in there. Everyone seems quite happy. I've been in plenty worse pubs with much worse atmospheres than the Pineapple. Yeah, I think if you're an away fan expecting a nice feed before the game, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But as a pub that kind of just is what it is, there's plenty worse, I think.
I think I'd rather. This is going to be a controversial take, but I think I'd rather go in the Pineapple than in a Wetherspoons.
I would.
I
I'm not volunteering for it, but
I went in after before the Accrington game. Well, last season. Yeah, got a grey 95-96 Lee Todd match worn shirt off someone in the Pineapple, of all places.
You were arranging to meet him there, or did it just happen?
Well, he arranged, unfortunately, it wasn't
on the street.
But yeah, well, we'll come to that because there was a chance meeting on Saturday with someone and mugged them on the street for a shirt.
Tell us about this.
But no, it was genuinely, I'd arranged, he said I'll be in the Pineapple because it was the only place on Edgeley, I think, doing actual glasses. Everywhere else was doing plastic pint pots, and he wanted beer in a glass. So I arranged to meet him in the Pineapple.
That's fair. Tell us about your activity on Saturday, Ben, with your new purchase, because I maintain that this isn't even in the top 10 weirdest meetings for you to pick up a shirt.
So yeah, a timely comment, Dave Philbin. Do I just hang around in Edgeley looking for people carrying/wearing shirts? Sort of. So I was driving up. So my wife had been away Saturday night and she was due back into Stockport station about 3 o'clock. So I was driving up with the kids, hand them over. I was going to go to the game. So I was driving up Mercian Way, Edgeley Road, whatever it's called, near the Morrisons. And I saw someone walking away from the ground with basically like that in the hand, but not even with the number, just kind of like that in the hand. And I was like, that's interesting because we didn't sell green. We didn't sell replica keeper shirts last season. So I wonder, it didn't look like a kid's one. So I wonder what that is. So in like that split second, I was like, right, spin the car around. Don't know the fella. Pulled up alongside him. I was like, hey, mate, whose shirt's that? And he was like, fuck are you? And I was like, whose shirt's that? And he's like, it's mine. And I was like, yeah, I know it's yours, but like, whose is it? And he went, oh, it's mine. And I was like, show us it. And he kind of went like that to like show me his t-shirt. And I was like, do you want to sell it? And he was like, no. And I was like, no, not your actual t-shirt, like that one in your hand. He was like, oh, right, sorry, mate. Yeah. And so we agreed a price, got it off him, and drove off. And, like, the kids were in the car, and they're like, Daddy, do you know that man? I don't know, never met him before. But here we go. There we go. Player issue from last season. Bobby Jones. So never available commercially. And what's nice about it, because I've got Ben Hinchliffe's one of these, which to the untrained eye looks exactly the same. But there was two variants of this. There was a home and away one. This is the home one, because it has the Project Solar back of shirt sponsor. And there was an away one, which was exactly the same shirt, but was paired with the not the peppermint, one green peppermint, but paired with the black shirt, which has the Beechwood sponsor. So I've got both variants of the green shirt now. So very happy with that.
What was this bloke?
Weekend.
What was the origin story of him walking through Cheadle Heath or wherever it is, carrying the shirt?
So he sponsored Bobby last season.
Right.
Obviously, as part of your sponsorship package, you get a shirt. So I don't know why he had it on that moment. I don't know whether he just not bothered to collect it and he'd been down to the ground, or I don't know where he was going and didn't. With the greatest respect, I don't really care where he was going with it. I wanted it, and I've now got it. So there we go. And I've got and just for the real shirt enthusiasts, I've got two big ones coming this week. So stay tuned for those. One of them is like ace. One of them is certainly in the top 10 for the whole collection,
Ooh.
Lovely.
arriving this week. So stay tuned.
Keep an eye on
Good on you.
Twitter for that one. Or
Yeah.
X, formerly known as Twitter, whatever you call it. Well, what I'll do, I'll tell you a little bit about my day, because I took my 6-year-old nephew to his first ever game. He was very excited by the food beforehand, as you would be. That's how you get him in the first place. Took
Genuinely,
him.
I bribed the kids with pies for seasons.
Yeah. And then by the 49th minute, I was having to use the promise of chips afterwards to make him stay, because he was just not interested. It wasn't. He enjoyed the first goal, did a bit of a cheer and stuff, but after that he was just poor. He can't sit still at the best of times.
Yeah.
Did you have sweets?
Loading up on sweets and crisps.
Yeah, I'd have.
Yeah, I went to a
pockets full
thing
of
behind the
sweets.
pop side.
And then
Yeah.
occasionally I'd just like, when it gets really bad, it's like, do you want to watch YouTube on my phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having to
Well, I
take both of mine to Blackpool on Saturday. I just thought something will happen. Somebody will somehow volunteer to look after my children for like 7 hours, but weirdly that hasn't happened. So
Not
I've got to take both of them to Blackpool. So we're making a day of it. We're going to go there early. We're going to go to the arcades. We're going to have fish and chips, and then we're going to watch the game for as long as a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old will tolerate it. And
Why
then-
don't you just pull up to someone in the street? Just pull up next to them and say, "Yeah, do you want to look after my kids for 7 hours?" Worth a go, isn't it?
Yeah, but imagine the results you get in Blackpool if you just pull up alongside someone. Who knows what could happen? Yeah,
I've got
like Benjamin
Charlotte.
looked like, kind of like Bramall, doesn't it? Yeah, Blackpool. Yeah,
Well,
I've got
in
Charlotte. We'll bring
block
it
one,
to sweets. It'll be fine.
yeah.
in block 1 of the pop side on Saturday, I had a very large family sat next to it. Large as in numbers, not in size. There's about 8 of them. So parents with like a load of kids. Can't all have been there, surely, unless it was like Radford family or whatever they're called. And there's a Catherine Tate sketch. I'm not a fan of Catherine Tate, but there's this sketch where they're out for a picnic. And she's like, "Oh, Tarquin, we're having cinnamon and gooseberry yogurts. Would you like a cinnamon and gooseberry yogurt?" And just goes around that's what it was. They were having crisp sandwiches. Try and guess what crisps they were using for their crisp sandwich. This is going to blow your mind.
I'm assuming not kind of Aldi own brand then.
Not
Something
not
like
even a
kettle
nice
chip.
bag of Walkers. I'd go
Kettle
Walker's
chip.
salt and vinegar for mine.
Chardonnay and sea salt.
No, they were. See, it's not even. See, I've made it seem like it'll be some sort of posh crisp, but it's
Yeah.
not. But it's just the last crisp I'd have thought of for crisp sandwich. They were using Doritos. They were using flaming hot Doritos.
No,
for crisp
no.
sandwiches.
Doritos in crisp sandwiches, especially the flaming hot ones, are elite.
No, Doritos
Yeah.
are for sticking in stuff.
No, and also because they're triangular, they fit nicely into the, the corners of the triangle of the bread.
Oh, there was
No.
none of that going on. There was no symmetry or tessellation going on the way these kids were doing it. They were just like ramming them in and just folding the bread over. But the whole first half was just them discussing how many crisps were left. I was like, "Did you see that goal? Did you not just see that goal then?" And no one seen. There was a lot of people in there whose children were flag bearers. And then as soon as the game started, the kid came back and they just left. I was
No
like, "Oh."
way, really?
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 people who that applied to. Very strange.
Wow.
What?
Nice
You
day
don't
out and
get-
everything.
You don't get the tickets free either. So Charlotte was a flag bearer last season, and the coach and they get 2 tickets. But then if any parents want to go, they have to pay for the tickets.
Tell you what.
Well, we sat
talking of-
down in our designated seats, and the woman next to us said she had a chair on my seat, so I've got to move it so I can sit. I was like, "Oh, that seat's for my daughter because she's a flag bearer and she's coming over in a bit." I was like, "Well, it's not. I've paid for this seat. Normally, I would not be a correct seat wanker, but I was like, no." The very fact that she assumed I'd just let her daughter sit in my seat that I paid for, that I paid 20 odd quid for. I was like, no. I was like, "I'll be sitting there, thank you very much. You can find somewhere." And then her daughter didn't even want to sit with her. And I'm not surprised, because what an absolute embarrassment of a person to be
Let's,
saying stuff like that. She's probably got wind of it.
Another one for you, Nick and Hannah. Let's separate the cats from the pigeons. Is that the phrase? Separate the cats from the pigeons. Is that the phrase?
I'll put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Put the
is
cat
normal.
amongst
Yeah. What is it? Anyway, let's separate cats and
Separate the
pigeons.
wheat from the chaff. That's
Yeah,
the
I'm
one.
sure it's not a cat. Anyway, whatever it is. Remember the pop side used to be known not by numbers but by colours.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
Because obviously there's yellow block. Yeah, which is where the name comes from.
Yeah.
What was block 1 called? What colour was that? Do you remember?
Was that brown?
No, there was a brown. Anyone in the comments? Anyone in the
blue
comments?
and red as well,
What were
didn't
the
we?
colours of the pop? There was 5 colours of the pop side, and each block was known by a colour. See if anyone knows. Just leave that to. Watch the numbers switch off. No, not yellow.
Well, we know yellow is the middle one. We've got a red there. Any
It
advance
was
on red?
red. Yeah, that one was red.
So we had red, blue, yellow, brown, and what would the other one have been?
There wasn't a
Green.
blue. There wasn't a blue.
Was it not?
Pink.
Nope. So red, brown, yellow, and green are all correct.
That's all the colours, though.
Orange.
Nope.
I don't think there's any more colours.
Oh.
I'm not
Apart from
getting
whatever colour my camera has
Richard
gone.
of York game.
No, I don't know what the other one is. What are we missing?
It was grey. Grey.
Really?
Yes. It was.
Oh no, I'm not a fan of that. No,
Yep.
I'm glad they
Red,
dispensed
brown,
with
yellow,
that.
grey, and green. So there we go.
Better off with the numbers. On to the game, the actual game. Anyway,
Yeah. Shut up with these stupid pieces of trivia that no one cares about. Yeah.
There's plenty of time for some more of that in a bit.
I've got one. It's appropriate as well as we lead into this. The first time since 1991 that all 4 promoted teams have won in the 3rd tier and on the first day or first weekend, and it's only happened once before that in 1964.
Oh, that's good.
Of course, we were one of those teams in 1991. Beat Swansea 5-0.
Because what I want to do is then see what happened in those seasons.
We did very well.
But what, like the other team?
Yeah, we had a playoff final, and we had 2 trips to Wembley, didn't we? I'd take that.
I think Crawley are just fully expecting to be written off every week now, and I'm just expecting them to get promoted again after that. After everyone's tips for relegation last season. I
don't think they're expecting it. I think other people are, and that'll be the downfall. Oh well. Scott Lindsay has said that he's got a whole new set of heroes in for the new season, and it's about getting them to play together. And because there were two started for Crawley that were playing for Crawley at the end of last season. It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. Well, our own signing from Crawley acquitted himself. I think probably the biggest talking point out of when the lineup was announced was Ben not in goal. But that keeps up another long record, does it not, Ben? Because Ben Hincliffe was still on the bench.
Hang on, let me get this right. What is it? So every single league match day squad since December 2003 has had a player in it who has been managed by Jim Gannon. It did break in the cup last year when we played Worksop. I think up until that point it had been league and cup, but it broke against Worksop because Jordan Smith played and I think Bobby Jones on the bench, Crowsdale and South Wales didn't play. But if we're going for the league, it's December 2003. Every single match day squad has had a player in it managed by Jim. So you would hope, obviously it's only Crowsdale, Ben and Southam Hales were left at the end of last season. Obviously Crowsdale's gone now. Southam Hales is broken at the moment. So hopefully Ben keeps it going until Southam Hales gets back, and then between them they can just keep it going.
If you to go back even further than that, I'd imagine if it was a combination of players managed by Jim or who played with him, then we must be going early 80s.
Well, because the link is Andy Thorpe. So, and Beaumont between Beaumont and Andy Thorpe, you probably get back to certainly mid-80s. And then it's just a matter of when Andy Thorpe missed a game. So, he didn't play because he left and then came back, didn't he? So,
so it'd be
I
at that
think
point.
There will be, whatever that period was, there's probably, unless Beaumont didn't miss a game, it's probably mid-80s. But yeah, the strong
It's really
links
cool, that.
to almost, more than 40 years, nearly 45 years of every single matchday squad, or certainly 95% of matchday squads in the last 40 odd years have had a player in it who have played alongside or been managed by Jim, which is pretty phenomenal.
That's pretty good going. That. I'll put it to you. I think Cambridge will be one of the worst teams we'll play this season. I don't think I think they had possibly one chance where they got through, where there's a possible offside, where
I think
you'd think
they're one of
better,
those
better
teams.
sides will bury that, but they didn't really offer much.
They're like one of those teams you see a lot of now who quite neat and tidy with the ball when they did it. And there was quite a few times when they passed nice little triangles and they passed him. And there was one moment in the first half at the railway end where they played a nice little ball inside and they thought, yeah, actually that was pretty good. But then it just went to shit. There was nothing, there was no threat to the goal at all. So again, one of these teams with a fair bit of possession, passed it round nicely, but just had zero impact. So don't bother, lads.
Yeah. I think there'll certainly be. I was shocked to discover that they were managed by a former county loanee in Gary Monk.
Yeah,
completely. That passed me by until the end of the game. The way his career, his stock has kind of fallen since being in the Premier League, with everyone raving over him when he was at Swansea.
yeah.
That's mad. I mean, he's probably not going to last the season at Cambridge either if they play like that much more. But I just thought a very, very professional performance. I think considering the injuries we've got, considering there's a lot of new signings in there, it's a very encouraging start, I thought.
Yeah, completely. I think initially I thought Cambridge started reasonably well. We did our usual energetic run round kind of thing. I think Cambridge I didn't think they were awful first half. I didn't think they were awful at all. I just thought they looked a bit toothless. I think, again, just to quote him, Philbin's kind of put in the comments that, we'll see worse. I think we probably will see worse. But yeah, we were good. I think Collar looked really good. Hopefully he can stay. If we keep players fit, undoubtedly, I've got no kind of concerns at all that we'll be top 8, if not top 6, if we can keep, I know we're not going to keep everyone fit all season, but if we can keep the majority of the squad fit and we don't have, that ridiculous injury backlog that we had last year, when we've got now, but if we can keep people fit, I've 100% I would back us to get in the playoffs. Not even at a push. I think we're easily, we're comfortably finishing the top 6.
Would you both agree with me that getting on to Louis Barry's goal? Would you agree that one of the most boring things you can say about that goal is that it was an early goal of the season contender? Because yes, once it's been said once, but then everyone says yes, we know. Everyone says it dead knowingly as well. They say there's this knowing smirk. It's yes, we know.
And also, don't want to take anything away from him because obviously I couldn't do it. It's not going to be goal of the season. Great finish, but I'm pretty sure that will not be our goal of the season.
I reckon we'll have scored a better one by the end of August.
Say again.
That's bold.
We'll have scored a better one by the end of August.
So I couldn't work out. It looks like, when you watch these YouTube videos of kids practicing ridiculous goals and the angles and going from, progressively further out, it almost felt like that it was one of those that you'd just practice repeatedly, and because the goalkeeper didn't, the way it went in and the angle, the goalkeeper didn't stand a chance because he would have had to have backed into his goal to save it and it would have still gone over the line. But Marriott's goal for Wrexham, quite similar in terms of space out but more players around, but he kind of, the control was better. the control was better in terms of placing it, and it just felt, I don't know, more considered and strategic as opposed to. It was a great goal. It was
Don't get
fun.
me wrong. Like, as a moment, first game back in League One, first game in 40 years, literally Barry's first touch, like the big returning, stellar signing, and he does that with his first touch. It's like, as a moment, that'll be one of the best we have. Like, don't want to take anything away from it. But yeah, I think we will. I think we'll score. We'll score better. I don't, but yeah, brilliant. Really good to see him back. I thought he was like that proper nuisance that he was the kind of this time last year when he was just looked dangerous. Every time he got the ball, you could see what he's going to do. Take a couple of players on and then have a shot. It's like, yeah, nice one. We didn't really have that too much last season after he got injured. So I'm here for it.
I think the difference.
He's apparently 3 weeks behind everyone else as well, which is a terrifying prospect.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the league then.
But he had a pre-season at Villa, so it's not like Tanto. He comes back, he's not had a pre-season, but at least Barry did have that and has had games as well. But yeah,
And
3 weeks
even
behind as a team.
Even with all the injuries, like being able to bring, and I'm going to say it, Jezzy Fevs, because I'm going to make Jezzy Fevs happen if it kills me. But for that, it was just something with me. I think it sounds stupid given what we've achieved in the last couple of seasons, but to have that sort of trickery off the bench, and I was just glad not to see him at wing back, to be honest. Like, nothing against him, but to have like this marquee, talented attacking player that we signed, and that's exactly the service we were talking about with Wootton, like a few weeks ago on air. Just saying, get crosses into him and he'll score, and he will do.
Yeah, I was a bit critical's too strong a word, but I was a bit maybe skeptical about signing him as a kind of wing back or a defensive duty.
Especially now he's wearing number 10.
Yeah, based purely on the games we played him last season, pretty much the one game at their place to the end of last season when Bristow just left him for dead in the build-up for Madden's goal. But if we're playing him more attacking, and he does, and he showed on Saturday what he can do when he just took the piss out of Cambridge, floated a lovely ball in, then yeah, just get him played. He looked fantastic, and I think the size of him, the power he's got, and the ability, and he's so young as well, then he could be massive for us over the next few years.
Absolutely, yeah. It'd be nice to. I mean, you'd imagine he'll be starting tomorrow night, given it's going to be a whole changes for the cup game. So,
aren't we just? I thought we were like going full out academy and scholars tomorrow.
Well, I'm playing 20 minutes. I'm doing the first 20. I'm going to run about a bit and then just go and be sit on the touchline. If it's still 0-0, then we've.
If you could do that pop side so you don't interfere with the electricals.
Yeah. No,
I'm not sure.
I'm assuming there's no advertising boards.
I get the kind of pragmatism of we've got players injured, let's not get anyone injured anymore and all this. But if we turn up tomorrow and it's a load of academy kids and one first team player starting, come on, it's Carabao Cup. It's not the Cheshire Senior Cup. It's not even the senior, not Senior Cup, like the Papa John's or whatever it's called these days, Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Come on, give it a little bit more than that. So yeah, hopefully we don't just kind of write it off and you kind of roll over and think, right, we're out. I'd like to see us give it a bit of a go.
It's quite possible Blackburn will do exactly the same as well.
I think
they're going to make
sending a more junior.
Yeah, I said this a couple of years ago that I think a big part of the reason so many championship teams go out in the first round of the Carabao is that the prize money is just virtually non-existent. You get, or certainly a couple of years ago, for winning in the first round, you got $5,000. That's like
nothing.
It's not worth it. And of the majority of these championship teams now, they're not going to win it. They're not going to go on and win the tournament. And so the prize money is so low all the way through the tournament. I think even if you win it, the whole thing, you win every game and you get through to Wembley, the Prize money is only about 100 grand. In comparison, for a Papa John's game, I think you get 25 grand just for opening it, just for taking part. And then you get something like 10 or 15 grand for each win. So there's prize money there. Whereas the Carabao, there's no prize money and you're not going to win it. So what's the point? Just send the kids out, get out of it as soon as possible. Or if we do progress, it's good kind of learning curve for the kids. But you see it every year. Loads of championship teams go out in the first round because of that.
It might be the same tomorrow. You never know. Another high point of Saturday's game. Kyle Wootton looking very much back to his best. A goal and assist, led the line fantastically, and surprised he wasn't man of the match. To be honest, I mean, I think Collar was a fair shout as well. Who also had a goal unfairly disallowed that looked to be honest. See, I was convinced that Collar disallowed goal. I was convinced in real time that was offside. I was right in line with it. I was convinced he was offside. And then watching the highlights and the replays back, you think. Speaking of the highlights, no John Kieran on the official club highlights. It's the awful Sky commentator, which is a shame.
Well, they had
the awful Sky commentator who described Louis Barrett as the former Aston Villa man.
No,
also
not the former Aston Villa man. He's the current Aston Villa man. He's on loan. You can't have it as a former Aston Villa man.
They had no audio at all, did they, for the first 20 minutes, and then it flicked over.
A few issues by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I do enjoy people tweeting Sam Byrne during the game, saying, "Oh, we can't hear you," like he can do anything about it. Like he's the one who does all that.
Yeah.
Just fly paper for dickheads. These club officials. In fact, he's not even a club official, and he's getting it. It's just not fair. That blows my mind. But yeah, I think Jack Diamond was another one who looked very bright on the ball, and then as we saw in pre-season, just not really on it when he got into it. I mean, that chance that he had, it was genuinely shocking how far wide he put that from there.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it in my life. But the early signs are there, I think, for him.
I feel like he might be the definitive confidence player, and he just needs to get a goal in, and then they'll just keep coming. And that run up towards the railway end, I can't work. Like people said, oh, if he smashed it, if he'd have placed it. But I don't think there was anyone particularly bearing down on him. I can't remember what else was going on around him. But yeah, like in pre-season, that's happened 2 or 3 times where it's looked nailed on and it's just shot it wide.
Yeah, I think I don't think there's anyone who gave us any less than a 7 out of 10 on Saturday, which is very nice.
I'll consult. How would you rate Sebastian Stockbridge out of 10?
I think he had one of those games which is like, oh, fucking hell, ref. But he officiated the game to the letter of the law. He gave everything that the law says that he should give. So I think he probably did quite well, even if it kind of felt as he was being a bit whistle happy. But they probably gave him a 6 or a 7 because that's just what everyone gets.
Well, they gave him a 6, but by contrast, Will Finney, who got pelters for his decisions at Wimbledon, got an 8. Birmingham got an 8. Sonny Singh was an 8. So most of the others were considerably higher than the 6. In terms of our player rank, I think there was it Woods and Collar and Adai? No, not Adai. Woods, Collar, and someone else were in the various teams of the week. But
I think Adai made it into one of the team of the week, which I was surprised with because I think he made probably 2 saves, and one of them was as a direct result of him fannying around with the ball.
Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, like I said, not having a pop at him, he didn't do other than that kind of brain fart when he gave it away in the first half. He didn't really do anything wrong. Kept a clean sheet. Wouldn't say he was team of the week material.
But our lowest scoring players, according to whatever this is called, Football League paper. I used to get this when I was little. It's still got the like send in fantasy league thing at the beginning, and you can win £300.
Do they have adverts at the back for play by mail?
I'll have a look.
Play by mail, Ben? Play by mail was truly fantastic. You used to have to like
this time of year when you get all the shops listing all the new kits for the season, and we'd have like the home, away, the keeper, and then they'd have like a little exotic row of like AC Milan, Fiorentina, Juventus, and those the Italian clubs shirts, like Lazio or someone.
No, you have to fill in the form and post it back.
That's madness.
Yeah, it's awesome.
In this day and age,
No.
I used to love it with.
And
I used to play by mail. Like, you'd like a check. Who's still paying by check? Oh, I'll just go back to 1998 and get a checkbook.
Or a postal order.
Never used a postal order. I would have no idea how to get a postal order.
This is amazing. Now I want to enter it just in case. But yeah, our lowest ranked players were Odin Bailey and Onyango, who both got 6s. I liked Onyango when he came on. Thought he looked really confident. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a useful player there. Yeah, I did play by mail one year, and I didn't realise that you had to like actually phone up to do transfers.
You have
to phone someone's house, and then like the parents would answer, and you'd be like, "Oh, is the manager of Kidderminster Harriers there, please? I want to have a chat about doing a deal." And it was so like. No one cared about strangers ringing their house back then, but nowadays you won't be getting away with it. Nowadays it'd be used for grooming. That's probably why they don't do it anymore.
They've got prizes at the bottom. I feel like this is something I should enter.
It's like a bin walker quiz.
So, like overall winner £300, second 150, third 75, bottom 150.
But it costs you more than £300 to get your postal order and send it off.
Well, so yeah, £5 per entry, payment by checks made payable to the League Paper Limited or by postal order. This is awesome.
That's truly blown my mind. And what happens if you win? Do you get the money back in the same way that you paid? Trying to like receive your check and stuff. That's baffling. How is it not online these days? The paper's on. You can read articles. The paper's got a website.
I'm so glad that it isn't though.
Oh God, it makes you wonder what the non-league paper do.
There's an Adam Virgo column. League 2. Oh, League 2 results and card count.
Do we like Adam Virgo? I can't remember because he used to be on BT, didn't he, back in the day when we were in.
He was
legend TV pundit,
mate, wasn't he? So basically, all the good commentaries that Adam Summerton did of all like the famous National League title season, Adam Virgo was the one summarising. I thought he was quite good, and I'm a huge fan of Adam Summerton. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's great.
Adam Virgo, I think, worked well with him. It's familiar. It's like that, it just works, doesn't it? So yeah,
Tilsley and McCoy's thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Keys.
Do we know what Adam Summerton's doing now? Oh no, let's not go Keys and Grey. Let's not go Keys and Grey Corner. That's for another podcast.
No.
What's Summerton doing now? Because BT don't, and TNT don't have the National League anymore. I really worry about Adam Summerton.
National League's gone to DAZN, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So he's still on TNT doing Champions League and whatever else they have. So hopefully you'll get a lot more. I mean, he did Champions League last year, a few games, and in Conference League and everything. So hopefully he'll continue to get those high-profile games.
Yeah, it still says TNT Sports and Discovery Plus UK.
I've never rooted for a commentator as much as I do with him. I really want good things to happen to Adam Summerton.
He's also doing Serie A.
Yeah. It'll be proper Serie A commentary as well, not like what they had in the 90s, where it was quite clearly recorded after the game, watching the highlights. It was so annoying. On to tomorrow night. Who's going tomorrow night for the joys of the Coca-Cola Cup? Yeah. I wasn't going to, but I think I might.
I think it will be. Again, it's difficult to know whether it's going to be, two first 11s, a hybrid of something, or just complete kind of reserve game territory. I do think Blackburn against Derby on Friday night, full strength Blackburn team. I thought they looked really good, really kind of front footed, energetic, all the kind of stuff that we essentially are, but Blackburn were just doing it at a higher standard. Caveated that with, we probably won't see that same Blackburn team, but you'd expect that kind of identity and everything that Blackburn have to follow through. So tough game, but you know, why not? Why? There's no reason why we can't win it if we're at it as well.
Yeah, I mean, the last time the last season when we played Blackburn in the League Cup kind of went all right, didn't it? So
take that again.
Maybe
we'll wear a one-off shirt again tomorrow.
Imagine they pulled that out. That might be the best thing they've done in the Stott era if that happened.
Yeah.
Did you see the Dorking game at weekend? Can't remember who they were playing, but the kit clash, a mind-blowing kit clash who was it they were playing? Well, the other team anyway were apparently wearing orange. It was not orange; it was red. It was quite clearly red, and
it's like United.
They had to go.
It was like United going to Arsenal and both teams wearing their home kits and then playing for 10 minutes, and the ref like,
oh wow,
don't think this is quite working here. So they had to change the shirts inside out, didn't they?
Yeah. Inside out, which must be a nightmare for the numbers when you're giving a booking.
Yeah.
That's like school stuff.
Yeah.
That happened to me once at school, and we just wore the other team's away kit, as used to happen quite a lot back in the day. But no, none of that. Because I'm assuming the home team. Well, did it? No, because they probably don't store. Well, you'll know, Ben. Where does Lando store the kits when there's no game? Are all the kits stored?
His little HQ, or his little kind of cage where they keep him, is at Carrington. That's where the kits are. Generally, where he kind of washes and prints them and everything. And there's multiple shirts for each player. I don't know for definite whether there is always a stash of home shirts at the ground or not, or if he takes them back to Carrington, washes them and brings them back. They certainly used to always be at Edgeley Park. I would imagine they probably keep a set of home kits at the club, at the ground, but certainly the bulk of them are at Carrington.
We should get him on, and he'd probably be expecting loads of questions about his playing career, and it'd just be this sort of. It'd be like, oh, what fabric softener do you use?
Yeah, exactly. What's the on the scan numbers? All this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your warranty like on your washing machine? Do you have to pay for the washing machine? Do you have to buy your own fabric softener, or do you have an expense account?
I speak to Landon loads and all that, but I see because he's been with us now, over 20 years as a kit man, and what did he play for us? Like 20 games, 15 games, something like it was a fairly small number of games, wasn't it? Yeah. But have we ever, other than Ken, there's not really anyone who's ever, certainly in our generation, who's worked at the club for 20 years. Phenomenal achievement.
I think the question I'd ask Richard Landon is, does he do the washing at home as well, or does he just get home and say to his wife, like, you know what, love, now a bit of a busman's holiday. I've done enough of this.
Yeah, maybe he takes the family washing into Carrington as well. Gets it all done on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've uncovered something here.
Yeah, like, screw you, Wilson. You can pay for this. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking of people who've been employed by the club for a long time, Ken was on top form on Saturday. I don't know if it's just because I've not heard him since April or whatever it was, but when he said welcome for this League One fixture, you won't believe how long I've waited to say that. Like, yes.
See, he's really he's honed in on his instructions for visiting supporters and how to leave the ground, hasn't he? So stand up and essentially just go the way you came in. Like, why does it need explaining? Like, no other ground ever does this. Why does he have? It must be some requirement, some safety thing. Like the safety advisory group must stipulate he has to do this thing. But come on, let people figure it out. And of course, the other thing, if we're talking stewards and safety, is what on earth does phase 10 mean? Will we go higher than phase 10? Is there an 11? Is there a 12? Is there a 15?
Right, in the pop side, you can't hear. Well, where I am, I'm under the gantry, so we don't hear any of the tannoy announcements at all. they were no different. So the first that we knew that there was anything kind of odd going was a random cheer from the Cheadle end. And me and my dad were a bit like, what was that for? Still none the wiser until yesterday when I was reading comments, and still like had no idea what phase 5 was, phase 10 was. It's like, oh, this happened at a match that I went to.
Because it started.
It's like what's the? It went from phase 5 straight to phase 10, didn't it? It's like what's happened here?
One of those kind of like really serious, like ground control voices. It wasn't Ken. It wasn't a steward. It wasn't kind of an uplifting, get the fans G'd up. It was like stewards move to phase 5, and there was a few like woo kind of things. And then when it was phase 10, it was like the final game of the season when someone's got a radio and the scores filter through, and there's like these pockets of people cheering. That's what it was like. So if it happens again, like at the next home game, there's a big crowd. It will be like we scored a goal if there's a phase 10 or phase 20 or something.
Yeah. But it makes me want to like test things out to see what gets the phases up.
The underground has like Inspector Sands, don't they? Which is like that there's a fire.
Yeah.
All these code words. Yeah.
When I worked at Morrison's, like Mrs. Black used to mean shoplifter.
Just ringing a bomb scare next, see what happens. See what phase that gets it to.
You say that like I don't already on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
But with these injury worries, I'm trying to get every game called off that I can. To be honest. But Mr. Sands for a fire, but you don't really get many fires in supermarkets. But yeah, it's Mrs. Black for a shoplifter, and then everyone would just go to wherever it was and have a good old nosy. Well, I did anyway. Didn't really get much work done. But I really want to. And normal duty was another one that was said at some point, which sounded very military.
Normal duties, yeah. But the thing is, like when these phases were announced, they didn't all spring into action. Like, you just kind of stood there and be like, all right, is this phase 10, is it? Right,
it's because they're all agencies. Have you heard of the manager in the pop side?
Yes, the one who kind of berates the
So he's met his nemesis on Saturday in the form of a new steward who I've not seen before. He may be an agency steward, he may have never seen, but he ruled that kind of, what do you call it, pathway front of with an iron fist, and the manager was like ducking and diving, avoiding, like going upstairs so that he wasn't cornered again. It was brilliant.
Very good.
Yeah. See, this is the important stuff. This is the This is what we should be. We shouldn't have talked about the game at all. We should be covering this for like a full hour.
I've got a question for you both and the listeners. Anyone? Just flicking through something. Then I've got a BBC News tab open, and I've just seen apparently Paul Merson is taking part in Strictly this year.
Oh no!
Who's the ex-county player who is the most likely to appear on Strictly Come Dancing, do you reckon? And you can't have Toddy.
Nash.
Toddy doesn't count.
You know the county connection there?
With Merson?
Yeah.
Which one?
So Louis Barry's girlfriend is Paul Merson's daughter.
Right, I didn't know that, but
yeah.
I thought you were going to say something about
just out-nerded Ben then.
Or something.
Yes, with scurrilous gossip.
Yeah.
What is this, Heat magazine? Christ almighty.
Who do you reckon? Who do you reckon's county's most Strictly player?
I'd say Carlo Nash, because he was a bit of a model as well, wasn't he?
Oh, I have my picture taken with him at the end of last season.
I think John Bilsbury's answer of G-Stop is a good one. He'd be up there,
but what they'd do, he'd have that thing where he does the launch episode where he meets his dancer, and then in the 2 weeks before the actual thing starts, someone goes, "Hey, up, have you seen his tweets?"
Yeah, historic social media posts means he just disappears.
Until he gets bundled out the back door. Ian Dowden suggests Aaron Wilbraham. Aaron Wilbraham's quite Strictly.
Aaron Wilbraham, if there's like a mid-90s R&B round, Aaron Wilbraham would fit right in these days with his new aesthetic, wouldn't he? But
it blows my mind. My mind. That is not the same player who played for us. I'm not having it.
No. Elding, I said do you reckon Elding? I think he's more of like a charity, like white collar boxing character. Anthony
Elding is
like
peak white collar boxing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not having him
yeah.
on Strictly, I don't think.
I think I'd revise my Carlo Nash shout because I think Carlo Nash is more a charity like Full Monty for the Daft Lads. That's
Yeah.
more Carlo Nash's
I
wheelhouse.
think maybe Carlton Palmer for Strictly could be good.
Perfect. England international.
Yeah.
Bit daft.
He's got enough kind of credibility as a celebrity, or would have done years ago, but he's also kind of, he's kind of athletic, but also probably really clumsy. And would he be the novelty dancer? Would he be like the Anne Widdecombe? Or would he? He's not that bad, is he?
Oh, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be the Widdicombe. No one's going to be the Widdicombe.
No.
Bill Bailey was meant to be the Widdicombe, and he won it.
Player. There's another one for you. Yeah.
Oh, it would be. Oh, so it wouldn't be anyone recent. It'd have
Barry
to be.
Conlon.
Yes, Barry Conlon. Barry Conlon is the one. Yeah, Ian Dowden's put a good shout forward. Ashley Williams is probably quite a likely one, given that he already works for the BBC.
Famous enough, he's recent enough, can still be referred to like as a, the Euros semi-finals in 2016, ex-Premier League star. Yeah, I think Ashley Williams is a great shout.
Can we put a bet on, maybe? Should we all club together and put a bet on him being on it? Just because I think there's a good chance. I'll be very surprised if he's not now.
I like it.
Who would you rather see on it, Ashley Williams or Carlton Palmer?
I'd rather see Carlton Palmer.
Yes.
Yeah, much rather see Carlton Palmer.
Do you remember when Carlton Palmer was on? It was before. It might have been World Cup 2006 or 2010, and they did a Celebrity Come Dine with Me, a footballer special. And Neil Ruddock was on it, and obviously, as you'd imagine, Neil Ruddock answered his door wearing an apron and nothing else.
He was also
when he turned around, you saw his ass.
Neil Ruddock was also on Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away, because he had some unpaid.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and his missus threw a bucket of water over the bailiffs.
Yeah. Oh, what a day! What a day that was. Oh, he mustn't have got the Come Dine With Me money through yet. That must have been the. But Carlton Palmer turned up at Neil Ruddock's house with a carrier bag carrying 4 cans of Skol, which I think I'm right in thinking it's like the weakest mainstream lager out there. Is it like 2% or something?
Skol. Everyone in Malta drinks Skol, by the way.
Weirdos. But then when they were in the taxi on the way back giving the scores, Carlton Palmer was hammered. He was the drunkest I've ever seen anyone. It's like, have you done this on your 4 cans of Skol, mate? What's going on here? Madness, absolute mad. Oh, that was a nice little diversion. I enjoyed that. Yeah, maybe we'll. If people tweet us and think, in fact, I don't think people will need to tweet us because I think we've covered. I think Carlton Palmer is the best choice, followed by Ashley Williams, and both fairly realistic. But do you think Carlton Palmer still harbours ambitions to get back into management? And he's like, oh no, I'm serious. I can't go doing that.
I think he's got the ambitions of it, but in the same way that I've got the ambitions that I might get a late call up for the World Cup squad in 2026 for England.
Yeah.
Don't know how realistic they are.
Will that blow? What was he called? Andy Mack, the skateboarder. Anyone can do it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not too late.
Yeah, he keeps me out him.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe Strictly will call Carlton in for a meeting and his wife will say, well, just go and see what they have to say? And it's like, right, we want you on this year, Strictly. We want you to be one of the dancers. And he'll say, oh no, I'm serious. I'm a serious football personality. And then they'll just show him the highlights of that game against Swindon. And say, really, Carlton? Really? He's like, yeah, right, I'll do it.
The thing is, like, with Carlton, it's been almost 20 years since he had a gig in the Football League. Since he left Mansfield, I think, in late 05 or early 06. Give it up. It's not going to happen, is it? He got sacked.
He's big in China, though, isn't he?
He was in somewhere like Garforth Town or something, wasn't he? Gosforth or something. Fairly recently, and he lasted about 6 months. So I don't think it's going to happen for him.
Mad. The same thing's going to be happening to Wayne Rooney in the next couple of years. So
yeah, give it up.
He's going same trajectory. Hannah, tell people what they should do if they're watching. Thought I'd leave it late before we got some shirts.
And I thought I'd got away with it. Like and subscribe. That's it, really, isn't it? You can watch it on at SK3 TV Pod on YouTube, or on Twitter is X is the same, and also available on major podcasting platforms.
Yes, all good ones, and a couple of rubbish ones as well. Right, before we wrap up, Ben, you put a tweet out today, seeing if there's any shirts people want to see, and I saw a very comprehensive reply.
What was the reply? Can you? Oh yes, I do remember. Actually, I don't know why I'm asking. I remember exactly what it was. It was
Oh, did he?
92-93 away, 13-14 home, and 90-91 home. Should I get those out? Should I do that?
Please tell me your chair is on wheels and you're just going to go.
I mean, I could do that, but yeah. So
That's
for
what I
those
wanted.
who have managed to still get this far, congratulations. But yeah, there we go. That's the shirt. It doesn't actually look that many, does it, when you see them like that? But that's all the shirts as part of the collection. I've got about another 3 boxes down there, as you can see, of shorts and replicas and stuff. But what we're doing, get the shirt out, aren't we? Where are we?
At this point, I'm going to get some library music for this point of the show in future. That we can just like. Dun, 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 dun,
Right, got 2 of these home ones. There we go. 13-14 home. Our lowest ever league finish, 14th in the 6th
Oh, what
tier.
a sorry era.
1 season with Umbro, our only season with Skrill North sleeve patches. Number 9, Christian Dennis. Number 2, probably
Mel
Moses.
Jacobs?
Jacobs? Yeah, not Moses, it'd be Jacobs, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go.
I keep seeing people saying they want Umbro to do our shirts again, but then I look back at them and just think, oh no.
Yeah. I think the Cambridge ones were really nice the other day, but
Yeah.
we've not got a great record with Umbro. 1990-91, obviously, famous Gordon Ford home shirt, one of our best ever. Got 3 of these. So we've got Andy Thorpe's long sleeve number 6. We've got Chris Beaumont's long sleeve number 10, which came directly from him. And then one of the best in the whole collection, number 9, obviously Big Kev. So that's greatest ever player for County, one of our best ever shirts worn by him. It's quite cool. And then
I'd love them to use that as the inspiration for a new shirt. It'll be just nice and minimalistic as well.
we'll go with this
Oh,
one.
hello.
Here he is. So 92. It's not strictly the away shirt from 1992-93. It's actually our 4th choice shirt from 92-93. We wore it once away at Brighton in October 1992. We lost 2-0. Nick, obviously you know the story of this, but the Co-op had this. It's the rarest county shirt out of all of them. It's pretty much the only one that if even I had £1 billion, I couldn't go out and buy another one. I don't know where another one is. So the Co-op had this in the hut they used to have in the Cheadle End car park, and they sold it for how much, Nick?
10 English pounds quid.
£10. They didn't realise what
to
it
me.
was. Did you know what it was when you got it?
I knew it was. See, I didn't know you that well then. I just knew you as some gobshite on a message board.
Yes.
So I kind of had a feeling it was fairly rare, but I couldn't quite place it. And then within, I bought it, put it on, and within about 2.5 minutes, Mark Smith, aka Clear Blue Skies on Twitter, came up to me and said, "Oh, I need to take a picture of that to send Ben." And
I was in Norway at
the
the
rest
time.
is history.
I was on holiday in Norway, and I remember exactly where I was. We'd flown out there on the Friday. This was a Saturday afternoon. I think it was after the Chester FA Cup game. You got it, and you stood outside the armoury. And I remember saying to my girlfriend, now my wife, it was always like, I want to go home. I want to cut short the holiday because I need to go and get that shirt. So eventually, after much mithering, you've got sleeve patches. After much mithering, Nick very generously put it up for auction, with half going to him, half going to the Co-op.
I won't do that now. Bloody hell. I was loaded back then.
So I ended up getting it. And like I say, yeah, it's one of, there's about 3 or 4 others that I don't know of any others that exist, but that's by far the rarest. Like before I got hold of it, was never. Don't think there was even any pictures of it online. People doubted it existed. So there we go.
That was the day of the Chester home game in the FA Cup during the
Yeah,
National League
Scott
North.
Spencer game.
And that was a rare day in the National League North where it genuinely felt like we were back in the league again. It was just like great atmosphere, like great end-to-end game and all that. And then I look back at it. I look back at the highlights the other week. On the highlights where you can see me wearing that shirt on them. I think when we equalise to make it 2-2, and Scott Spencer scores one of our greatest non-league goals at that point.
Yeah.
You can see me wearing it, and then you look and there's just empty seats everywhere. Like,
And it felt like, well, I wasn't there, but I remember the build-up to it felt like it was massive. But it was like 4,000. Remember when we played Woking in 2016, FA Cup first round? It felt massive. Felt like it was Edgeley Park was full. There was like 4,000 people there. Yeah. But there we go. Yeah.
Okay,
So there you go. Thank you for indulging me with some shirts. If you like that kind of thing, you know what to do. Get on Twitter at County Shirts. Get to keep an eye out for the big hitters that are gonna land this week.
Excellent, exciting. That's just about the right time to wrap it up, innit? Hannah, have you got anything to promote?
No.
No.
No, well,
Nothing.
no, actually, last week, I mean, this week's was all right, but it was curtailed because I had to come and do this. Gary Hutchinson,
Sorry.
no, it was Harry's fault, not yours. Gary Hutchinson, who presents one of the longest running League One club podcasts in the Stacey West, which is the Lincoln one, did like an orientation to League One for the lower league look. No, League One look, which is part of lower league look. And it's like everything from away days to avoid, away days to put in your diary, what happened last season in terms of kind of talk a lot about like Wigan and Reading and how they're going to be set this year after, you know, points deductions and things last year, who his dark horses are and his tips for relegation. So it's a really good, even if you don't normally listen to League One podcasts, as in the whole league as opposed to just county, it's worth a listen. So that's League One Look, which is on Spotify, on YouTube, on everything, and on Twitter at League One Look. And in fact, it's pinned to the top of our Twitter. X.
There you go. Everything covered. We will be back same time next week, next Monday, 8 p.m, with reaction to tomorrow night against Blackburn and the big silly day out at the seaside at weekend. Where we could truly be top of the league. We could, unless we match Huddersfield's result again and both win, and
Can I
again, won't it?
Can I end with just another thing, which I know all your listeners don't want to hear any more of? Last time we went to Blackpool in the league, won 4-0, August 2004. If we were to win by 4 goals again on Saturday, we would be or at least 4 goals, we would be into neutral or positive goal difference for the first time since April 1999.
I meant to ask you the other week when this moment was going to come.
We are now at -4. The last time we had a cumulative positive goal difference in the history of the club was April 1999. We dropped to as low as -300 in February 2016 against Harrogate. We've now been working our way back up. So we're now at -4. So a 4-goal victory on Saturday, or even before that, even tomorrow night, but a 4-goal victory on Saturday would see us either neutral or positive for the first time since then.
That's Blackburn win like 11-0 against our children tomorrow night just to set it back.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Works both ways.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you never know. One to look forward to.
Yeah, it's coming. It's around the corner. Right, Hannah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ben, thank you.
Thank you.
And maybe not more importantly, but equally importantly, thank you to you for watching. Let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.